Hello, my name is Edward Fillion. Here's an idea. When you and I listen to our hearts, our paths are made clear. Here, our heart means the center of our being, that place where we intersect with the great all that is. It means that place within us where our intuition is, where the still, quiet voice of inspiration dwells and gently nudges us in the direction of our greater yet to be. It's challenging to have a relationship with someone if we don't listen to them, or if we don't allow their input and wisdom to influence us. The more we listen to others, the easier it becomes to know them, to recognize and trust them. And the same is true for the relationship with our heart. If we don't practice listening to the still quiet voice within, then we may not easily recognize its guidance. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said that as you and I listen to the divine wisdom within us, that's when we will receive our inspiration and guidance, because, he said, the spirit within you is God, the infinite source of your wisdom and clarity. How then do we listen to our hearts? Well, by building a relationship with our hearts. Now for me, that means I often need to sort through all of the voices within me, the fear, the cultural messages, and everything else floating around in my mind. Because sometimes I've been listening to my mind instead of my heart. I learned something in Science of Mind that has helped me sort through all the voices inside. It's this, that the presence of the living spirit in me, the mind of the Creator, call that my heart, would not prompt me to do something dangerous to myself or anyone else. So, I learned, if you are led from within to do something hazardous or vicious or mean-spirited, that isn't your heart, and it ought not to be followed. And that's not to say your heart will never nudge you out onto the skinny branch of faith, or that it will never suggest you take the step you're nervous to take. It probably will. But it doesn't, in my opinion, recommend recklessness or violence or irresponsible actions. Instead, it is sweet, tender, gentle, and kind. So the first step to listening to your heart more deeply is to give it time. Give it the time and space to be heard. Now I know I'm to sit quietly if I want to listen to the soothing voice within that fills me with peace and calm. Sit quietly before I do anything else. My blessings to you.
Supposed morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday morning service at the Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands, California. We are so excited that you have joined us this morning. My name is Holly Bocanegra, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Our theme for the month of May is Listen to Your Heart. Once again, we are very grateful that you have come to join us this morning, and please enjoy the service.
In this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For spirit, one spirit is in this very room. In this very room. In this very room.
Hello everyone, my name is Reverend Dr. Renee Hart. I am a licensed practitioner from Center for Spiritual Living. I am an independent minister, but I am a licensed practitioner from Center for Spiritual Living. So today we're just going to take that breath and we're just going to breathe, being fully aware of where you are, being conscious of your breath right here, right now. So as we take this breath, we breathe, knowing that God is all that there is, knowing that God is perfection, God is peace, joy, harmony. God is infinite intelligence that knows all. And in knowing this, I know that I am one with God because God's Spirit moves in, through, all around me. So I know that God's Spirit is within me now. So in knowing this, I know that we are one with God. I know this for you, knowing that every breath that you are taking is God's breath. Every breath that you are taking is a sacred breath. That sacred breath is love, is peace, is joy. What I know for you is perfection is within you now. That love is moving through every cell, every artery in your body, springing forth in a state of harmony, in a state of peace, in a state of balance. Knowing that if God is everything and everywhere, then I know that there's no separation between God and us, because God's Spirit moves within us right here, right now, right here, right now. And so as I know this to be the truth right here, right now, and I continue to take another breath, that's a holy breath. Being in the present moment, living in the present moment. There's unity right in the midst. What I know this for the world, that God is moving through everything. No matter what it appears to be, God is present. Because we are present. Because that Holy Spirit is moving through us. That fire is already activated in us right here, right now. Knowing grace supports us in this journey called life. And in knowing this truth, I give thanks for knowing God is present, moving through me, through us now. I give thanks for the unity. That unity is within us now. Because God is within. God's Spirit moves and lives within us now. God shows up in each and every one of us today when we're in a state of allowing God's Spirit to move through us as us. So I give thanks for this and so much more. And in this I just release my words and to that universal law. And I know that it is perfect and I know that it is complete. And we will say, and so it is. Amen. Some people may say, thank you, Jesus. Yah, thank you to Yah, Jehovah. It's God. It's all God. And so we give thanks for all the names of God, because it's about that Spirit, the presence of God that's moving in through us and all around us. And I give thanks for this. And you all have a beautiful, blessed day today, because God is moving in action in your life now. Claim it, and it will be true.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Is the guitar on? Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here at that rainbow I've been praying for. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
So good morning, everybody. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed Center for Spiritual Living practitioners at CSL Redlands, and I welcome you to week 3 in May of our global theme, Listen to Your Heart, and our weekly theme is The Path Made Clear. And it's such an honor to be able to speak the word for you and with you every Sunday morning. I can't tell you how much it means to me and how much you mean to me. And so I'm hoping that you can feel it and sense my enthusiasm for this teaching. I'm going to start with the quote, and it comes from Harry Morgan Moses, who's the spiritual director of Spirit Work Center for Spiritual Living in Los Angeles. And it goes like this: the heart of the Science of Mind teaching is that you are the beloved one. You are the very center of the universe. You are that perfect reality, no matter what you've done with it, no matter what you think of it, you are still that. That's the truth about you. Revealing this truth is the reason you came into existence. And it is the only reason for existence. And I just love that quote. I think it sums up the entire week right here, the path made clear. Because what this quote says is, we are in the absolute, there's only perfect God and perfect man. So if I say perfect God, perfect Brother Mark, at home, please say with me, I say perfect God, you say perfect, insert your first name right there. Got it? Perfect God, perfect Brother Mark, perfect God, perfect, right, you. And that's the truth. And so the reason the theme came up by the Ministers' Council, the context and behind the scenes of it, is that when your vision is clear, decisions in our life become easier, right? And so in Chinese philosophy, there's a word called Tao, T-A-O. And it means the absolute principle underlying the universe. And so what are the tools we use in science of mind to find clarity? One of you yelled through my computer, stillness. And I agree. So stillness is one simple tool in the science of mind toolbox for you to surrender, right? Stillness equals surrender. Surrendering to what, you may ask? Well, I believe when we surrender, when we're still, if you practice the meditation prior to today's Sunday service, you were becoming still to listen to what I believe is the divine, right? You can call it whatever you want. Any synonym for God or the divine is perfectly okay with all of our CSL centers. So you are allowing, by your stillness, your divine guidance to be made known, to be heard by you. And what I believe is that God is so good and so merciful, and this Spirit is such a beautiful and loves us so much that it will never give anything to us that we cannot process and handle. It will not put any life circumstance before us that we are not capable of handling. And at the same time, I don't believe it will impress itself upon us without our free will. I'd like to repeat that. If I told you that Spirit, that God, that this love intelligence, this wisdom, this creativity, this joy, this unconditional love, this source energy wants to have a relationship with you in an even bigger, bolder, and brighter way, and has only ever been waiting for your permission, for you to say yes, for you to swipe right, if that's the way you swipe on the app, to say, yes, I'm interested in a relationship with that one. That's the one I'm asking you to swipe to, is the divine. And so that's one of the ways today that I want to speak to you about. The way the material was written is court the presence, like a courting, right? C-O-U-R-T. And what I say is romance the presence. I've said this before from this very pulpit. I believe that the most effective, at least it was in my life, is when I was going through the classwork from 1996 to the year 2000, I was having a divine romance with the Spirit of the living God that resides within me. It loved me all the time. It always knew what I needed before I knew what I needed. It always knew what I wanted before I knew what I wanted. It loved me unconditionally. It loved me no matter what the other choices I made in my life prior to the moment of all my learning was. It did not judge me. It has never left me. It will not forsake me. Right? It is there for me when I turn within and become still. And in our centers, one of the main reasons that all of our centers practice meditation is because it is a practice to allow for your mind and for the human to become still, for you to allow and access the divine with the capital D, so that you can receive the impress, the thoughts, the direct messages, the revelations, the truths that are individually customized just for you, just for your soul's evolution at this very moment in time. Back a long time ago, we used to have answering machines. Do you remember? They were actually a machine. And when you got home from the day, or it could be at night, or you could have been several days later, you would see if you had 0, 1, 2, 20, 22 messages. And Spirit works the same way. Spirit is always trying to get the messages to us, but we must retrieve the messages, right? We must make time to be still. We must make time to surrender. We must make time to check for our spiritual messages. And one perfect way to do that is the stillness and sacred silence of meditation. Now, you can set up an altar space for yourself at your home. I know many people who do, and they're beautiful. They can have icons or statues or images. They can have, some people have family photos there. Some people have little candles or incense or sage, right? You can have anything that brings you this stillness and calm. And then be able to add to it or subtract from it, whatever you wish to add to and subtract from it, so it's meaningful to you, right, each day. A practice evolves each day. And so what I want to say is make time, create time to be still and surrender and listen to the divine calling that is always awaiting your willingness, right, to allow for it to speak in, through, and as your very life. And so this is one of the 3 topics or content of today's talk. The idea is that when we turn within, we will always find the answer. And there's a Holmes quote from the book called Power for Good, Lesson 10, and it comes from page 49. Over the course of our lives, we come to crossroads or forks, and where we have choice points. And this is the quote. Listen to this. There is within ourselves the answer to every question and the solution to every problem. That Spirit makes the demand and will answer that demand from within. When we allow ourselves to wait for the mental storm to die down, be still and know is the secret of guidance, as it is of every problem of life. A perturbed mind can never get the correct answer. A stilled mind always can, because the answer comes from the God within. There's another quote I'd like to share with you now, and it comes from Power of Idea, Ernest Holmes, page 94. And it goes like this. As you listen to the divine wisdom within you, you will receive your inspiration and guidance. As you speak your word, think your thoughts, or make your affirmations with complete conviction, you will discover that you are using a power that actually is and that actually does respond to you. The Spirit within you is God, the infinite source of your intelligence and wisdom and creative power. And I just simply love that. So we've covered 2 of the 3 ideas for today's talk. We covered the ideas that in order to make the path made clear, we must first turn within, right? Turn within to our inner guidance. And we can do that by turning into the stillness. We can do that by turning into the silence. We can do that by the practice of meditation. The second idea that I shared was to court or romance the presence, right? To actually have a relationship with yourself that includes not only yourself, which is your human self with a small s, but your self with the capital S. And to me, that's where all the juice is. That's where all the true meaningfulness of life is. It's when you do your own spiritual work and you find, when you look in the mirror, that you can be pleased, that you can love yourself the way God loves you unconditionally, that you can see yourself as the miracle and the beauty and the love and the great joy of God. One of our members, Ed, said that his pastor George said that he is the joy of God, something to that effect, and it was a statement that stayed with him his whole life. And it is a perfect example of this. It is a perfect example of this idea to have a romance. And what I'm going to ask you to do in this romance is not tell anybody about it. For me, the best romances are kept private. For me, this is the kind of romance that doesn't need to be FBO or Facebook official. It doesn't need to be on your Twitter. It doesn't need to be on Instagram. It doesn't need to be on TikTok. It doesn't need to be on social media, but it needs to be within you. If you can achieve that, I believe and declare and affirm and know that I know that I know that your life will bloom and blossom, that you will grow and emerge from whatever you might see as not good enough to more than enough. I have learned this firsthand. There is nobody who can do this journey for you except for you. And I know that you are well equipped to do everything that's required, including nothing, right? Part of what we spoke about today was silence and stillness. That doesn't require anything except for the calming of our mind and the calming of our human thoughts and the letting of those human ideas pass. Just see them like clouds passing in the sky. And once they pass, divinity is always there, waiting to express itself and impress itself upon us. And so the third part of the talk for today is to have faith. And in the writing that we receive, it says, have faith in the law. Now, for me, that's pretty much the same thing, but you may not understand. So I'm going to clarify. In our teaching symbol, there's the circle, which is spirit, right? That God is everywhere present. And it's like seed, soil, plant, right? We have the V with the tildes at the top, the opening, which, by the way, is that spirit is not limited. It's unlimited, okay? It's not confined. It cannot be properly defined either. It is everywhere present. It is omnipresent. But the idea is that we can create from the invisible into form. So seed, soil, plant. So from spirit, which is everything in the greater circle of our teaching symbol, through the first part, right, which is that spirit going into form, which is the subconscious, which is the soil. It's where we plant the seed. And then the bottom part is the form or manifestation or body. And that's the plant, right? So seed, soil, plant. Our thoughts are things. Whatever we plant into our garden of consciousness, it will grow. And so the same idea of building faith, it lies in this idea that the more you practice, the more you speak your word, the more you practice with affirmations, these I am statements that are unconditionally loving, that are all God qualities, that are in the here and now, that helps you to build faith, right? It helps you to build from what you cannot see to what it becomes visible then in our life to what we can see. Because as human beings, a lot of us want evidence, right? We want evidence that all this is working. And what else do we want? We want it to all be drive-through quick, right? We don't want to wait around. And you know what? Sometimes there's no time in spirit, so you can be impatient all you want. It doesn't mean that your prayer work isn't being answered. It doesn't mean that your prayer work wasn't even already answered. Think about that. Some of us are walking around thinking that our prayers have not been heard, right? Much less answered. What if I told you that they are and that they were? I'm telling you right now, they're all heard. Even before the last word of your prayer is uttered, Spirit knows, God knows exactly what you're about to do, exactly what you're about to say. Spirit knows every strand of hair on this curly head. It's just that in the human, we think we know better. And so there's something I'm going to ask you not to do is outline. Don't outline if you're willing not to what you think the demonstrated prayer should look like or be. What if you were just open to this or something greater? What if you were open to this or something more magnificent or opulent or elegant? What if you knew you were just a magnet for your highest and best good? And what if you said that with me at home right now? I am a magnet for my highest and best good. For my highest and best good. Right here, right now. Right here, right now. Yes. And so you're practicing affirmations, you're practicing spoken word, you're practicing by paying attention on a Wednesday night service or a Sunday service. You're paying attention to your spiritual growth and your unfoldment. And so I'm just so grateful to each of you and acknowledge how well you are doing. And so a call to action. Every good sermon or talk has a call to action, right? For if you are never going to be different, if you're never going to be willing to consider changing, well, then none of this really had any effect or impact, did it? And so I'm going to invite you to stop thinking about the things in your life that are difficult. I'm going to invite you to stop focusing on what you don't want and instead try to see God everywhere. Just say with me, Brother Mark, I will see God everywhere this week. Good. And that's a practice. Because if we focus on what we don't want, we're putting our energy, which we know we're energy beings, and we're drawing everything to make that thing true. And so that's why when the third part of today's talk was about having faith in the law, well, guess what? The law only knows to create. It always says yes. The universe always says yes. And so we have to be mindful about what we're creating, right? And so if things are not working out the way you want them to in your life, I'm going to invite you to consider letting go of anything and everything that no longer serves you for your highest and best good and replacing it with the truth that God is at hand, that life is at hand, that this source energy, this unconditional love, this grace, this peace that passes human understanding is at hand, and it is always for you. You and God are a majority. Who can go against you? When you have God, when you have Spirit, when you have this unconditional loving presence on your side, no one can go against you. It shall not work. And so I'm just so grateful to be able to be with you today and to speak the word, and just know that there's no way that I could possibly love you any more than I love you. There's no way that I could possibly try to reach through your computer any more than I am right now to give you a big, huge virtual hug. And a pat on the back, right? Don't we sometimes just need a pat on the back and say, yeah, you got it. You got this. I know you got this too. And so I'm giving you the pat on the back. I'm giving you the virtual hug. I'm going to throw in a virtual kiss. So what do you say to that? I love you.
Blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the
And so now is our conscious time of giving. And I'm inviting you, if you have your tithe or your gift or your offering at home and it's nearby, just go ahead and place it on the heart space. And just allow for yourself to open up. Know that the place from which you give, that portal, is the same place from which you receive. So if you're holding on tight to all the good and not being willing to share and release your good into the law of circulation, then abundance, including unexpected wealth, cannot reach you, right? So let's be open. Let's affirm that money is just energy. It's nothing to be afraid of. And places like this, Center for Spiritual Living, Redlands, we need and look forward to your being a contributor so that we may continue to do our good work in the world. And so if we have moved you in any way, support us. Give what you can, right? If you can give $1, give $5, give $10, become a contributor at $25, $50, $100 or more. We have some members who have given more than $2,000. And we thank them for that. They help to keep us open and vital and viable. And we just want to say thanks. And so try to outgive God. I hope you can. I don't know if you can, but I hope you can. And so just hold your tithe and your gifts and your offering on your heart. And I invite you to say with me line by line the affirmative blessing that we do during this offertory. And I'll say the line, and if you agree with it, then say it. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Well, I want to thank the person who wrote this letter. I think it is very wonderful. And I know that all of us are grateful that the writer wishes to place a special advertisement in a local paper so that more people can hear these broadcasts of ours. And here is a lesson for all of us. How is it that we shall multiply our effort 100 times? Really, all it would take to do this is for everyone who listens to tell all the people whom he knows. In this way, our good will be multiplied, because our good will include the good of others. And I want you to know how happy your letters are making me. How glad I am that you are using the lessons that we are sending you. And please remember this. You do not need to wait, for each lesson is complete within itself. And as you apply the instructions in each one of these lessons to your everyday living, you will soon discover that something begins to happen. You will come to know that you really are using a power greater than you are, and you are using it in faith and in confidence. And I hope with great enthusiasm, for I cannot think of any other adventure in life equal to the adventure of faith. The thought for our meditation today is one of the most helpful of all the sayings of Jesus. Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I know that thou hearest me always. There is no doubt or uncertainty here, only gratitude and joy. As we think these thoughts of Jesus after him, each placing them in his own words, let us see if we too cannot say, I know that thou hearest me always. I am now making known my request with thanksgiving, because I believe that the law of good, which is a law of love, will act on my faith and bring into my experience and into the experience of those whom I love the good we all so greatly desire. I am not praying for anything specific, but I am affirming that divine intelligence leads me into pathways of peace, of happiness, of health, and of success in my everyday living. I am lifting up my whole thought in enthusiasm and in expectancy and in joy to the outpouring of the divine Spirit. Therefore, I expect everything in my life and in the lives of those whom I love to come under divine guidance. And as I send out my thought of love to the whole world, I expect it to return to me multiplied. And as I wish good for everyone, I expect that this same good will return to my personal experience. I do believe in the availability of divine power, and I believe in the intimate nearness of the one perfect Spirit. I do desire that this Spirit shall influence my every act, because I know that only good can come from God. There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.
And so, inviting you to join us for the closing affirmative prayer. If you're a practitioner or a licensed minister, please rise. If you're watching remotely at home, I'm inviting you to rise to know this spiritual truth with me, to activate that two or more gathered consciousness so that we can know and remember this truth in a bigger and bolder and more powerful way. And so I invite each of us all to turn within now. And we do that by simply exhaling out everything that's preceded this moment in time. Just let it go with your breath. And with your inhale, we inhale in the divine. And we exhale and surrender anything that does not match the divine. And so as we return to our normal breathing now, we're reminded that this power and this presence, this love, this omnipresence of good, the Mother, the Father, infinite intelligence and wisdom, the creator of all and all as all, God is here and now. Spirit is here and now. In this place, it's in this space. It is in me, it is in you. And it is from this place of unity and oneness that I speak a word of blessing, knowing that all your paths are made clear, that any place that appears to be a crooked pathway for your life is made easy and straight and narrow, and has the confidence of source energy behind it. For it is God that made you perfect. It is God that made you whole. It is God that made you complete. And that what I know is there's nothing missing, nor lacking, nor needing, nor wanting in you now. You are God's masterpiece. And I invite you to say that at home with me now. I am God's masterpiece. Yes. And it is from this place of conscious awareness that I know that everything you need is sourced and supplied by our source, by this one power and presence for good that always is unconditionally loving you, always waiting to impress itself upon us by the willingness, by the opening, by the surrender of our minds. So I'm inviting you to consciously make a bigger and bolder space within your conscious awareness. Empty it out, so that Spirit may fill you. right here and right now, for all of your needs to be met. Divine health and perfect wholeness, financial abundance and prosperity and wealth, perfect joy and harmony and love, perfect romantic relationships, perfect family relationships, divine right employment, divine right housing, all needs met. All of your needs met right here and right now. I invite you to feel the feeling tone of what that feels like. Just breathe that in as the truth. It's your spiritual truth. I declare it and I affirm it. And with eager anticipation, look for the good now and forevermore. You are a magnet for your highest and best good. This is how I see you. This is how I recognize you and know the truth about you. And so feeling good about the word spoken to the law of life, which always knows to only say yes, I release my word to the law of life, trusting that it is done, knowing that it is complete. And with a grateful heart, I surrender this word now as a living prayer that can be remembered and recalled at any point in the future by just simply breathing into it and knowing that it's true, knowing that it's done, knowing that it's so, and inviting you together to say with me, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
I release. There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. This is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. It's a moment for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit